Alright, thank you very much for joining me again. This is Gulpane, back with another quick video about talking about two games and how which one is better. So today I'm going to talk about the Resident Evil 3 original and the Resident Evil 3 remake. Now I recently completed the Resident Evil 3 remake. I went back and completed it again because it's just such a good game. But is it actually better than the original Resident Evil 3? I think they're both very similar. Kind of the big game seemed to be Resident Evil 2. For me, Resident Evil 2 was the big game, and then Resident Evil 3 seems to be like a spin-off or like a shorter version, or not really a mainline version at all. I don't think, anyway. It doesn't seem to have the same amount of stuff, original Resident Evil 3, as Resident Evil 2 or even Resident Evil 1. Like, it doesn't have the two characters. I know it has Jill and Carlos, but you control Jill and Carlos, you know, in the one playthrough. You don't go back and start a different playthrough with Carlos, which is disappointing. I don't know why they didn't do that. Maybe it took them longer to program or something. But they could have easily had Jill and Carlos, two different scenarios, and then you got, like, you can play their different scenarios just like they did in Resident Evil 2, which would have been really good. But you just play as Jill in the original one. The story's okay. It seems to be very spin-off-ish. It's taking place at the same time as Resident Evil 2. There seems to be a bit more intrigue and a bit more going on in Resident Evil 2 than Resident Evil 3. Similar weapons in Resident Evil 3 and 2 as well, and the similar assets used. Like, the zombies are almost identical. There is more zombies on the screen in Resident Evil 3 than there is in Resident Evil 2, which is an interesting one. And then the remake, then again, you could say probably the stuff I've just said there, you could repeat that for Resident Evil 3 remake. It seems to be like a spin-off of Resident Evil 2. There doesn't seem to be as much put into Resident Evil 3 the remake as there was put into Resident Evil 2 remake. Like, again, you don't have the two characters. You control Jill, then Carlos in the police station and the hospital, then Jill in the hospital, and then that's it. Like, there's no, like, different scenarios. They could have easily done two scenarios because it's the same engine that they used for Resident Evil 2 remake. So I don't know why they didn't just, you know, because that's what we all wanted, really. We wanted to control Carlos for the whole game, we wanted to control Jill for the whole game, and have different scenarios. So then the now, the thing that they did get better in the original Resident Evil or the remake, and they didn't do it in the remake, was after you've completed the game, the stuff to do. Now, in Resident Evil 2, you had the mercenary missions where you controlled the different mercenaries, Nikolai, Carlos and Mikhail, and you had them. You started off with the train, and then you ran into the town to get various items and all that. I can't quite remember what it was now, but I remember being really good. I was really looking forward to Resident Evil 4, the mercenaries, as well, and Resident Evil 4 mercenaries was excellent as well. They seem to, I don't know, they just didn't do a good job of the mercenary missions or the kind of after stuff, only in Resident Evil 3 and 4 for me anyway. So they still didn't do a good job of the kind of the after you complete the game kind of bonus stuff in Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 3 bonus stuff is actually better for me than Resident Evil 2 remake bonus stuff. The Resident Evil 2 remake bonus stuff is like, you control, like, there's more effort put into Resident Evil 2 definitely in Resident Evil 3. There's more characters to control. You know, there's like the ghost survivors, but those just didn't appeal to me at all because it's just like running around trying to kill like harder zombies. It doesn't, and the survivors are all dead as well. Whereas Resident Evil 3, you have to complete Resident Evil 3 multiple times, the remake, in order to kind of get more points, and you have to kill a certain amount of enemies, kill a certain amount of enemies with a handgun and the shotgun and all that. It's just the replay value of the main game is superior for me. So which is a better game? I actually prefer the Resident Evil 3 remake than the original Resident Evil 3, which is the opposite to Resident Evil 2 because I prefer the original Resident Evil 2 over the remake. And obviously the Resident Evil 1 remake is way better than original Resident Evil. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. So what do you think about the Resident Evil 3 or Resident Evil 3 remake? Which do you think is a better game? So leave a comment in the comment section below. Alternatively, make a video response yourself. Let me know what you think. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.